wellness. Wellness to me is about feeling good, feeling confident in your own skin and healthy. It's tough to stick with routines without someone there to push you, someone to hold you accountable. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to push you, inspire you, and leave you feeling damn strong. I like that, damn strong. Not just strong, damn strong. Strong physically, mentally, knowing you can handle what life throws at you. It's not easy, but it is so worth it. And there's more. If you want to find out, once you realize who it is, you can go check out her page. She should be coming up in the stream like right now. There she is. How are you doing, Nicole Griffin?
How's it going?
Pretty good. This is, let me just be transparent. I had a friend of yours and a guy you work with, Chris, on about a month ago. And he recommended you and I doing these conversations because I like having conversations with interesting people. And he said, you're pretty interesting.
Well, that's really sweet of Chris.
That's a lot of pressure. Hey, let's make sure the technical side's working okay. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Perfect. I know we were a little concerned about that when we started. Okay. Because I'm not a professional interviewer, I just like talking with people.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going to go, but you're the owner of, is it an art gallery or is it where you just create art and then sell it separately?
I did have an art gallery. I had an art gallery for 10 years, but now I just have a little studio where I create and I sell online. And
what's the name of it? Tangerinas?
Tangerinas, yes.
Okay. I've got to ask about the name. Is there a meaning behind the name?
Okay. So I really like, I'm a big fan of color. And so that's kind of where the orange came in. And a little bit of softer side is adding the AS to the end. And then I also like margaritas. So tangerina margaritas, like I wish I need to come up with a better story than that.
No, I like that story. So you're a very creative person. And before we get into the fitness side of it and the dare to dance side of it, because we're going to talk about that. Okay. Have you always seen the world from the point of view of art? And tell everybody what kind of art you make, because it's not the traditional kind of art.
So I make pieces out of old handles and hinges, and I'll make pretty flowers out of them, and then make them into something else. So it's screws or old pieces of metal. And what's funny is I live with my grandparents a little bit grown up, and we would go on walks, and my grandma said that she would always I would pick up all this junk off the ground. And she's like, what am I going to, okay, Nicole, okay. And she would have her pockets filled with all this junk. I was going to go make inventions. And so I always kind of had that urge to make something out of nothing, because that's a lot of it. What I do is, it's old discarded wood or pieces of, just pieces of metal or junk, and then paint it up pretty and give it a facelift and a new life.
So you've been doing that for a long time. Has it affected how you see the world? Now when you walk down the street, everybody else just walks right by stuff. I bet you're like, hold on a second. Yeah, hold on a second. I got to go look at this. Is that what you do?
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay. Is that what you do when you walk down the street? Do you kind of tell people to slow down? You're like, I've got to go look at this pile of stuff that's over here. There may be something cool in it.
All the time. Or driving by the, antique stores where everything is out on the road and it looks like half of it's junk. That's my dream.
My grandfather used to be an antique dealer. He's passed away, but he was the kind of guy that we would go to. I grew up going to auctions with him, but we would go to yard sales, estate sales, and he would always find the piece of furniture that had been painted 15 times that looked like crap. And he would take it home, and when he got finished with it, it was beautiful.
It's cool. All it is a little TLC and a little time, and you can make, really something like incredible.
Tell everybody, do you got a website?
I do. It's tangerinasonline.com or tangerinasart.com.
I think I put the link, and I think I've got the right link in this description. So if people want to down the road go check it out, they can. We'll switch gears and we may come back to art. You never know. We may come back to you're dancing soon.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It's next Saturday. When you say that, I get goosebumps.
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's nervous about, so yesterday I had rehearsal, and one of the other, his next client, his next dancer came in, and she watched the end. I think that was the best time that I've rehearsed. I like the pressure. So I think I'm going to do a lot better when there's actually people there. That's what I'm telling myself. Anyway.
Right. What dance are you doing?
It's a swing dance.
I like swing. I like swing music. I don't know if I can dance to it, but I love the swing music.
If I can do it, you can do it. I kept trying to tell him that I need a bike on the stage or some other things. And there's like little parts where very simple, like walk, shimmy. And every time I do it, I'm like, this is my favorite part. And he doesn't laugh at my jokes. He doesn't think that's funny.
So there used to be a dance school here in Chattanooga called the Fred Astaire Dance Studios a long time ago. And when I was married for 20 years, but when I was married, we took dance lessons there for about 7 months, 8 months. It was at the same time I played rugby. So I did not know Nutrition World used to be at a place called Brainerd Village over off Brainerd Road. So all of these guys that I played rugby with, they would go get their supplements from Nutrition World. But there was this big bay window where people could look in while you're dancing, right? It's right next to it. I didn't know they had come by one night when I was in there practicing. So at the next game, we were starting to warm up, and they said, all right, guys, let's warm up. And they all got partners and started doing this dance. And they said, hey, they said, Clint, can you warm us up? And I'm like, oh, you guys saw me doing the waltz, did you? You're welcome.
I don't think, they can make fun of you for that, but that's something I'm sure your wife appreciated. And and it is a connect. I think that's cool that you did that.
Well, it was fun. My point is I would have never done that on my own. And we just did it for the fun of it. When I was married, you try to do things she does things. She used to do things for me. I used to do things for her. But I would have never done that on my own. But when I started doing it, I really liked it. It takes a little rhythm. You have to be focused. It's great exercise.
And I think I think the most challenging part for me is, my feet don't move that fast. And remembering all the steps, that's the hardest part for me is, moving my feet that fast. Even it's just different because I know music, I know rhythm. And so that part, I think that he appreciates. I understand music from teaching, but I don't know. It's just different. It's challenging.
Having someone you can trust that knows what they're doing, that's leading or knows where they're supposed to be your partner's got the muscle memory of what he's supposed to do. So that probably helps a lot when you don't have to worry about the other person. You can focus on yourself. He's
been teaching for 40 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So and I think this is his 16th Dare to Dance. So he knows what he's doing.
When they first asked you to do it, was there a let me think about it and get back to you, or was it immediate yes?
It was immediate yes, because I thought it'd be really fun.
Okay.
And thought it'd be really fun, but then also to go around the community and raise money for the Kidney Foundation, I thought that would be, I think that it's such a good cause because they do so many different programs and medical equipment, and they pay people's bills, and it's such a good charity. They do so much for people.
And I put a link in the description for your fundraiser page. So if people want to give to your fundraising account, they can click on that and give whatever money they can.
I had no idea when I first signed up how many programs that they actually have. And then kind of getting a little bit deeper into this, it's incredible everything that they do for patients.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it. I've had some other friends do this in the past, and they did not embrace the nervousness as you did. They were literally terrified. And it seems to me that you've kind of embraced the fear, which is good. Are you one of those people that like doing new things like that?
Oh, definitely. And this year, what's interesting about the event is there'll be a few people there, but it's mostly going virtual.
Oh. For
me, I'm excited about that. Because that way I get to share it with a lot of Echelon people too. I'm like, bring on the cameras. My whole life is virtual basically. And I have these connections with people that I've never met. And so I'm like, yes, this actually is going to work out great.
Well, let's talk about the Echelon part of it. Okay. Because you said your life is virtual. I had this conversation with Chris. I am older than Chris, and I'm way older than you. And I used to, back in the 80s and early 90s, I was a trainer. So I had the A certificate training, but also ran a gym for a couple of years. I worked in gyms too. And it's just some stuff is just basic stuff. It never changes. But some of it is so different than it used to be. The online component, especially the last 8 months, has just blown up so much.
Oh my goodness.
but here's the thing I think's the same. Everybody looks at it and goes, it's the different. And I'll let you address this, but people seeking the community. When I used to go to old school gyms, we all went because, I mean, we like to work out, but everybody knew each other. We spotted each other. We were part of a club.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like we're so disconnected now that this online kind of gives us a little more of that now. Does that make sense?
Oh, you have no idea. It's incredible. I mean, that same type of thing where you have, you know, your buddies, or you have your club, or you have something, people that you ride with or work out with. There's people from all over the country. This is one of my favorite stories. So this is pre-COVID. So these 4 women, Florida, Atlanta, Oklahoma, and Texas, I believe, all over the country, met in Chattanooga, spent their whole weekend together, and they met through Echelon, and they started a Facebook chat, and they like all would talk. But I mean, these women from all different walks of life have become best friends now just because of this. And so it gives you that kind of community. But I mean, there's all kinds of people that have made friendships, and you kind of hold each other accountable and push each other through classes, because with the leaderboard, you can actually see how hard somebody's working. And so you can kind of race and compete, and it kind of gives you that competitive edge too, like old school gyms.
Are you a competitor?
For sure. I don't take as many classes as I used to, but yes, definitely a competitor.
So I want to talk to you a little bit how it works, because to some people listening to this, the online they may not know how easy it is. They may know, they may not know the ins and the details. But yes, to the sense of community, I affirm what you're saying. And I've noticed on your Facebook page, you get a lot of people tagging you on their success stories, which they thank you for. Like, hey, thank you for pushing me. It's got to make you feel good.
I absolutely love that. And I encourage people to send me their sweaty selfies and, kind of embrace the fact that they did it, even if it's not a PR, not if it's.
Uh-oh, that's okay. Click back in. Let me text her. This is the joys of doing Facebook Live. Watch this. You ready? Let me text her. Click back in. I'll keep talking. Here we go. Click back in, and she can rejoin us if she gets that message. But if you go to her Facebook page, there are, I don't know, 2 or 3 a week minimum of people that see that will post something on her Facebook page that they appreciate her pushing them, and which I think is pretty cool. And it kind of goes with that quote I was saying to begin with. Let me see if I can get her back on real quick. Hold on one second. There we go. She's coming back. Okay, hold on. There we go. You're back.
Sorry.
No, I was filling in the time very good, telling people to go to your Facebook page and check out all the testimonials. So it's okay. It's live. That kind of stuff happens. Okay, so we were talking about motivating people, which kind of matches the reason I read that coming on that post from you about what wellness is feeling comfortable in your own skin and finding sources to inspire. I've said this a bunch, and you might agree. Sometimes it's okay to seek inspiration and motivation from other people. In other words, The Rock's Instagram page, or Jocko Willink, or Nicole Griffin, people can look to there. But a lot of times people look to that until they can be their own motivation. They need to start their own momentum. I need to lose that little bit of weight or keep this commitment of a habit. Then all of a sudden you can actually feed yourself.
First of all, I love that you put me in the same sentence as The Rock.
You're welcome.
But I think, I think everybody kind of craves that inspiration or somebody to look up to. I think everybody inside of us, everybody has that where we kind of, every day is not perfect. Every day is not, you're not feeling your best. So it's good to have the people that you look up to. But then what's crazy to me, and this is one of my favorite things to hear, is I always say in class, you never know who you're inspiring. So parents, their kids are watching them, and then their kids start playing with dumbbells, or their kids start doing squats with them, or want to hop on the bike because it's fun. And their parents, it's not making working out a chore or something. They're inspiring their kids like, oh, this is so fun. I get to hang out with my friends. And now with, school being so different for kids, it's having recess, or a time where you can hang out with your friends is cool. But also have one, I mean, this has happened quite a bit, but friends, and they'll talk about the bike and not even think about it. And then they'll have friends buy the bike, or parents, or kid, you know, like their kids. I mean, like older kids will buy the bike too. And I think it's wild just having something positive that you talk about in your life. You don't know who's listening or who needs to hear that.
Well, a lot of times it's ourselves. I found I'm 52, closer to 53. And I have found in and out, you know, life comes in cycles, ebbs and flows. And a lot of times I get so busy doing everything. I'm a dad. I'm a dad. I'm a business owner. I'm this, I'm that. As different points in times in life, I look up and I've not kept the habits that kept me in the shape I want to be in, or as healthy as I want to be, or spiritually connected. And sometimes those habits, I just need a jump start. I need somebody to expect me to show up so I can be motivated until it jump starts like a battery, until I can get jump started and go, okay, this is how it feels to be committed to myself. This is how it feels. And I love that idea, because I think that's what people like you do. You jumpstart people till they can kind of carry their own a little bit. They bring a lot of stuff to those sessions. People bring a lot of baggage to your sessions, I bet.
I think it's so neat to when people kind of catch, it's like kind of like a bug, kind of like an addiction when it happens, and they're like, no, I need to do it 3 times this week. I need to have that feeling. And it's so cool to watch. And you can, as an instructor, watch them get stronger on the leaderboard, or watch them through Facebook start to cheer each other on. And it's, I mean, because people reach out like, oh, that was my first live ride. And when somebody rides live, it's so hard to go back to on demand, because you can have that conversation. Or, I mean, not conversation, but we see who's in there. And so we could be like, Clint, good to see you. Come on, let's do this, you know? And even that one little boost might be the perfect thing that somebody needs that day. When we were really, really heavy into quarantine, we were still recording. We would go into this locked room. So the studio was all locked down. The choo-choo was all locked down. We'd go in a side door, ring a doorbell. The producer would come unlock the door and scurry away, go back into the production room. We would go hop on the bike, record our class. When we would see, so we have the cameras, and then a blue light comes on when you're actually live, and then the screen fills up with all the riders. That was my only connection with people. And imagine the people, I mean, that's the only time that they actually had any kind of real interaction with people, with another human almost, even if it's virtual. There was times where people were like, thank you for saying my name. It's the only time someone said my name in days. And just having that, I mean, I've seriously felt like I was hanging out with my friends when the screen would fill up, or the leaderboard would fill up. Well, and then we wipe down the bike, hose down our bike, spray it down, disinfect it, walk out, and that's it.
Well, you can't hug anymore. I mean, we can maybe now, but back then you can't hug. You can't, you know, there's no physical contact.
There wasn't anybody there to hug. I mean, I mean, everything was closed down. I mean, even the production, we were trying to keep it as safe. I mean, we kept it as safe as we could. And that's why we're still able to record for, I mean, we took the precautions. And I mean, it paid off, because people thanked me for still being there and recording. I'm like, you're kidding? Thank you. Like, I needed that just as much as you did. Thank you for showing up in my class.
How does that work on the, so if let's say I've got an Echelon, because Echelon's got a bike system, right? It's a,
yes.
And I think you also have, we'll talk a little bit about mirrors, and I think you're coming
out. And a rower, and soon we'll have a treadmill too.
Well, we'll talk about all that. Now, are you just the bike part?
I'm bike, rower, and then I do also strength and boot camp classes.
Is that strength and boot camp a mirror, or is
it's not? So it is. So it's just an app. So the boot camps, you have it on the same, either on your phone or on the bike. The back of the bike. Oh, see, the back of the bike flips, and so you can do it that way too.
Looky there, looky there.
Placement.
Well done. I'm expecting somebody holding an Echelon sign to come walking behind you.
My dog.
Well, so if you're leading, or you're on a camera, if I'm on the bike and I've joined a live class, will I see you, or do I hear you, or is it both?
Both. Okay.
Now I can't see everybody else, but I'm sure you said a leaderboard. I can see other people who are participating.
Yes. And even if you're in the class, you see a list of names. But we don't, I joke about how I can see them, but truth is I don't really see their face.
Okay. But I can
don't
tell
make that face at me.
I can tell who's kicking my ass and whose ass I'm kicking in this
Yes,
list.
just by the numbers.
Okay. Now, is there options? I'm sure it's, if we don't have to go into price points, but are there bikes that may not have the screen, but I can still participate? Yep. Okay.
So there's, I mean, we have bikes from, I believe the EX1 is around $600. And then this here is around $1,300, the one I have.
But you can flip that screen and do other stuff with it. Yeah. It's very cool.
So you can flip it around, and that's when you can do your boot camps or anything.
The bikes have changed a lot too. Back in the old days, you know, I had the stationary bikes when I was growing up, when I was in the gym. All they were bikes that were on stationary platforms, and they had the little knob in the middle you turn to get more tension, less tension. There was your bike. And you just rode it.
You didn't have a sweaty face instructor and a screen in front of you yelling you, telling you what to do?
No. I just had that big puddle of sweat dripping off my nose. Oh, yeah. And thinking, you know, how many donuts can I eat when I get done doing this? That's how I measure stuff. How many donuts am I allowed to have if I really go hard?
Sometimes that's what it's about.
So
I love seeing the puddles under bikes, for sure.
Well, you ought to check out, and I said his name earlier, Jocko Willemick. Have you ever heard of Jocko? Go Instagram Jocko. He's a former Navy SEAL, and he does business consulting now, but he posts every day between 4:30 and 5 black and white pictures of the gym after he's got done of sweat. His hands will be bloodied from calluses from barbell lifting. He's a beast like the Rock.
Wow.
Okay. But he's a Navy SEAL. You'll like him. Jocko, Jocko.
I'll give him a follow.
Well, he also has a very good saying. He says good. And my daughter's high school basketball team a couple years ago had T-shirts that said it. And the reason is when he was in the military, people would bring him problems. So they would say, we don't have this equipment. This happened. We can't go. We've got problems. And he would always say, good. And they asked him why. And he said, because anytime there's a problem, it gives you the opportunity to solve it, rethink, grow, adapt.
Wow, yeah.
And he's like, so anytime something bad happens in life, I just tell my kids, my wife, anybody, good. We got a chance to be better.
Now you have something to figure out. And wow.
Pretty good.
That's like powerful.
It is. Okay. So we've talked about the fitness part of it. We've talked a little bit about the art part of it. How long have you been into the fitness side, and what did you do? I can't imagine they just brought you in to do the bike. You had to do this somewhere else, right?
Yes, I've been instructing for a long time now. So I'm going on 13 years instructing. I started out at the Rush, just a small gym. So I started there. And it's funny. So when I moved to Chattanooga, do you want to hear the whole story?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Are you kidding me?
When I first moved to Chattanooga, I had just finished up school as dental hygiene, and I don't know. I was just kind of complacent. I wasn't really doing much. And I mean, because I wasn't really playing sports or anything. And so then I lost a bunch of weight. I lost 40 pounds altogether doing boot camps and just kind of changing my life and changing the way I ate. And that's when I moved down to Chattanooga. My aunt lived down here. And so I hung out with her quite a bit, her and my uncle. But then after that, I didn't know anybody. And so I just work out all the time and eat better. And this is my first time really living on my own. So I lost a lot of weight, but then I kind of hit a plateau, and I tried cycling for the first time. And I was like, it's a bike. How hard can it be? I go into this room, and it's a dark room, and the instructor turns on the music, and it's just a vibe. There's loud music, and oh my gosh, I remember I was right by the disinfectant wipes. and I didn't bring a towel or anything because I really didn't know what to expect. I was so sweaty. I was like grabbing disinfectant wipes, like wiping my face, like huffing, puffing. And then after class, I was like, what just happened? And in that point, I called the bug. I was addicted. So I followed this one instructor around to 3 different gyms that he taught at. I fell in love with it. And then I would say probably about maybe a year after that, he's like, okay, Nicole, stop. He's like, why don't you consider becoming an instructor? And honestly, I couldn't believe that he was saying that I could do it. Because I was like, really? You think I could? And I went through the training, and that was 13 years ago.
Wow. That's a good story.
Yeah.
That you left that first class smelling like Lysol disinfectant. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I went into the bathroom and because I was like, what the heck happened? I still had bubbles in my hair from
From where it foamed up while you were
the
rubbing.
disinfectant wipes, from wiping my face with the wipes.
Hey, I bet now during COVID, you're not the first person that did that. That was 13 years ago. People are doing that now.
Trendsetter.
Do you like the rower at all? Do you like the rowing machine?
I do like the rower. So the rower to me is a lot less rhythm, is a lot less. So on the bike, you can kind of get into a groove, but on the rower, it's a little bit more structured and more drills. So I'm finding my groove on the rower a little bit more, but it's very challenging. And I didn't realize how much core. I mean, it's a lot of core and legs first. I mean, in my mind, when I first got certified, I was like, yeah, it's a lot of arms, but it's all legs and core.
I love the rower.
Yeah.
The reason I love the rower, it doesn't hurt my butt as much when I sit on it. And even those seats are way different now. They've got all kinds of great seats on bikes. But the rower, again, they changed. I haven't been on a new rower in the last year, but back in the day, they had that little man in a boat that would always pace me, and you could pre-program it. And I was so competitive when I was young. I was like, I am not losing to this little cartoon. And by the end I was done, I was just spent. It was overall body workout.
It's efficient.
Loved it.
20-minute classes, people laugh about it. Oh my gosh, you can get a killer workout in 20 minutes. Efficient. I think that's the best way to describe the rower, is efficient.
Yeah. There's only one machine that nobody really comes out and promotes because it was created, I'm pretty sure, in the pit of hell by Satan himself and brought up to the surface of earth. And it's one of my favorites, Jacob's Ladder. Have you ever done I loved the Jacob's Ladder.
Don't give Lou any ideas. We do not need a Jacob's Ladder at Echelon.
Those old school Jacob's, I'm telling you, I used to love taking guys or girls that were like, I'm in such great shape, and they would be all, hey, let's just do 5 minutes on the Jacob's Ladder. Matter of fact, let's do 3 minutes on the Jacob's Ladder. Yeah. And about a minute and a half into it, I don't care how good a shape you were in, we would all be like, yeah, I'm going to stop now.
Right. Okay, yeah. You win.
I have nothing to prove. I'm not near that much a man to do it. What's your favorite exercise? Let's get off the bike and get off the cardio. Do you do weight training?
I do weight training. I like circuit training.
Is there a favorite exercise you have? I've found a lot of people that have a favorite exercise. It's because they have a favorite body part. It's either shoulders or legs. Do you have a favorite exercise you like to do? A favorite workout, weightlifting exercise?
I like to do core work. I like arms and core. I don't know, just like a little mixture of, I don't really have a favorite, bicep curl and then shoulder press and then core. I like oblique work.
The sides?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a least favorite exercise movement?
Push-ups.
There you go. Hey, okay. So you did exactly what, if I ask people their favorite, they have to do this. Well, I like those three. Usually everybody has one exercise though they hate. Yeah. They hate.
I don't know why. I don't like it.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'll do them, but they're not my favorite.
What's your go-to cheat food when you're having a cheat day and you really need to feed the emotions or give yourself a little pat on the back? What food do you go to?
Gosh, this is a tough one because it depends on what kind of mood I'm in. I love sweets, but then I also love cheese.
We talked about cheese dips, about your favorite football food. Yeah.
Dip, cheese dip, anything like that. I'm trying to think about like a really good
What's your favorite sweet? Are you a donut or a cookie
Snickers.
Or cake? Snickers, just candy
bar.
But
I can kind of justify Snickers, so I'll buy Snickers because it has peanuts. It has protein.
Oh, stop it. You're like that. Oh, it's a protein bar covered in chocolate and heavenly goodness.
Exactly. With a little bit of caramel, the sugar boost.
Right before class, burn it off.
Exactly.
Hey, so do you, and this is the part where we will give a little bit of transparency. Are there certain habits you struggle with? Is food a struggle for you? Is it sleep? What habit is there something that you struggle with where people can listen to this and go, oh, I relate to that. I struggle with stuff too.
I would say food is a big trigger because I guess because I was overweight and and kind of like when I lived with my grandparents or just, healthy eating, it was always always on a diet or, like that. I mean, it was just the time that I grew up too. Like dieting was where it was at. It wasn't about No, it's about balance. It's about, so now, I mean, I have a lot healthier relationship with food. And I mean, I joke about working out to gain or to, burn off donuts or burn off different things like that. But that, I'm just joking. Like
Yeah.
I try and treat working out as not as a punishment, not as, oh, I earn this food. Enjoy life, eat the donuts, eat the burger if you want it, but not, I don't think about working out as a punishment anymore or dieting as a punishment. It's just, it really is about a balance. And there is cheat days. There are things that make sense, but I try not to make it as, reward and punishment anymore.
And one of the things that I have made the mistake on, and I'm sure everybody has, but when you start getting in the world of diets, I need to lose weight fast. It took me 2 years to gain the weight, and I need to lose it in 30 days.
Oh my gosh, I know. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what happens is I start depriving myself. I say I'm going to have no bread ever. And what happens is I do that for 3 days, and then I eat a loaf of bread when I go out to eat at a restaurant.
Exactly. And I understand people who want to have goals or they have, a wedding or, they're trying to get past things. So, cutting carbs or cutting out foods is to get to a certain spot. And then it's about maintaining after that and doing something that's realistic and not depriving yourself from, cheese and crackers forever or wine or whatever it is but I understand going through the restrictions to get to a certain place, but after you can't maintain it, and you still have to have a healthy relationship with food and a happy relationship with life. Imagine if you never, you cut out Snickers and wine altogether. That'd be the worst life ever.
No more margaritas for Nicole.
Or margaritas.
The terrible, terrible world that you're living in. All right, last question, and then we'll go back and kind of revisit where we started, and we'll wrap it up because I know you've got stuff to do today. When people come to you and they join these classes and they start forming this community, do they reach out to you for advice, or does anybody actually ask you for, like, how do you handle your diet or food? Do y'all have a system in place where you push them to, or do you answer that kind of stuff?
Just to be completely transparent, I'm not a nutritionist. It's funny, I'm going through a nutrition course right now. So soon I'll be able to have an educated answer to a lot of these things. So that's what I tell when people do reach out to me, because it does happen quite a bit. So that's what I tell people. And I have friends that are nutritionists that I if it's something, specific questions, or I can refer them to my friends. But yeah, people do reach out, and I give them my advice, but not on a
professional expert
not on
level.
A professional, yeah. Just it's more personal. And I let them know that up front, and just, this is how I handle it. And even different foods that I eat. I was like, I don't know if anybody else thinks this is good, but this is what I do. So one thing I do is once or twice a week, if I'm feeling really sore or feeling really depleted or down, I drink beet juice powder with chocolate milk. And I don't know if that tastes good to anybody. Some people like it, and then some people say that's disgusting. I'm like, you didn't.
It sounds disgusting.
If it's delicious, you ask me what I do. I'm telling you what I do.
This is weird. I had this conversation with a girl I've had on quite a bit, podcast and videos. Her name is Chastity Snowden. She's from Ringo, but she lives in Boca Raton. She's actually a nutritional coach. Mm-hmm. And she went to the World CrossFit Games. So she's big into that stuff. But we were talking about taking apple cider vinegar, and it's good for your stomach. It's good for a lot of things. And so I'll take it straight, or my first cup of coffee in the morning, I will mix it into my coffee.
Oh my, I can't even imagine that.
It's not bad, and it gets it over with. Or I'll just straight shoot it, but it's not good for your teeth if you do that a bunch because of all the acid in it. So anyway.
I thought it was supposed to whiten your teeth.
Listen, here's the worst thing you can do in life. Google something and then live your life by whatever Google says, because either it's going to whiten your teeth, or your teeth will fall out of your head, or you'll make you smarter.
You never know.
I just
maybe check it on WebMD.
Yeah, or I'll just ask people like you who know other people, and you can go find out the answer because you've got smart friends.
Exactly. Then I'll report back. I know sometimes I did apple cider vinegar for a little bit, and I would mix honey in it and try and shoot it, but I don't know why you would ruin your coffee like that. Why would you deprive yourself of your delicious coffee?
I drink 2 cups. Are you a big coffee drinker?
I am. And it's
too.
probably, I mean, definitely 1 cup, but sometimes 2, sometimes 8.
Are you, so I used to drink up until 6 months ago. I would drink coffee 2 or 3 cups in the morning and another cup or 2 after lunch. But I used to be out all the time. Now I'm at the house so much. I just drink 2 cups in the morning. Do you have a special coffee you drink, or do you care? Are you not picky?
I'm not picky.
Okay, good.
So, but I do like, if I'm not, so a lot of times I'll drink it black, but if I have creamer in it, I like hazelnut creamer.
See,
and
I'm
it's
not
just like, that's my first cup is hazelnut. And then after that, I can go black.
I got a friend named Ed Jones, owns Nutrition World. He drinks Bulletproof Coffee. That's
with butter.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Okay. I haven't tried that.
Yeah. He's,
have you tried it?
No, I'm a Folgers. I put 2 sweeteners in it with the stevia. That don't anybody freak out. I'm not doing the, sweet and low, but stevia. And then my 1 little tablespoon of that, my first cup. And the second cup I enjoy. I savor a little bit more.
The first one's just a kickstart. Yeah,
the first one's to get that stuff in me. And then I also drink a green drink. Do you do anything else like that? Do you have a morning ritual of supplements?
What is it?
It's just a green drink. It's to get my vegetables and stuff in me.
Oh, not really. I mean, beet juice.
But you're young.
Like
when you get to be in your 50s and all your joints start hurting, you'll drink anything they tell you to drink. You'll be like, absolutely. Absolutely is what I'll do. You want to take beet juice and put chocolate in it? Bring it.
You should try it. You try it. Not the stuff in the can. It has to be the powdered.
Well, I'll freak you out right now. I don't like chocolate, caramel, or butterscotch. I don't like any of it. I know.
What's your sweet? What's your go-to sweet?
It's like banana puddings, vanilla ice cream, strawberry pie, or apple pies. I like everything, but I'm not a chocolate. Never have been. Butterscotch, caramel, all that.
I do like banana pudding too. I like sweets.
Yeah. Now I'm hungry for a banana pudding.
I know, me too.
I try not to eat till lunch until I have these kind of conversations, and I'm going to get off and go find me something to eat. All right, let's do this. Let's tell people how to. I'm going to go ahead and remind folks of some stuff. The links are in the description. You are participating in Dare to Dance next week, and you're still raising money.
Yes, yes. And you can actually buy a virtual ticket to watch. So your donation goes towards the Kidney Foundation.
That is awesome. You also own and I have it in here as a gallery, but it's more of an art studio downtown.
Yes, it is. But it's all online, and I have an Etsy shop too.
Tangerinas.
Tangerinas, yes.
Oh, real quick, and you may have done this because I've not done a lot of research, but have you made a bike yet of like?
I have.
Oh, dang it. I thought I was going to have
I know. I need to have Chris give me some old Echelon pieces.
Yes.
That would be cool to make it out of parts and pieces from Echelon bikes.
That would be very cool. So go check that out. And I'm sure that stuff's for sale, right? You sell?
It is.
Okay. And then lastly, because this is how I met you was through Chris, if people want to sign up, how do they become part of the Echelon family? They buy the bike and then the classes are charged, or how does that system work?
So they buy the bike and then it's a monthly subscription. Gotcha. So if you have the bike in your home or in Chattanooga, we have a studio in Chattanooga, and the studio is open right now too. It's in the Choo Choo. So you can come ride live there too while we're recording. And so kind of see all the behind the scenes and everything too while the class is going on.
That is very cool. So there's also a link to your bio from Echelon on this description too. So if people want to find out more, you can find out about Nicole, but that's also from Echelon Fit. So you can go check out all about their bikes, their rowers, their mirrors, and soon to be treadmills, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think we did a pretty good job in about 35 minutes.
Yes. Awesome.
I know you're super busy. Thank you for doing this. And maybe when new stuff happens at Echelon, or if you've got an event coming up for your art, if anything's going on that I can help with, if you'll reach out, I'd love to have you back on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Have a great day. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Good talking to you.
Bye, everybody.